Your Mexican Bruja, and today we're gonna be talking about shadow work. First, let me clean my lens because I see that it's dirty. Okay, now you can see me. So, this comes from, for starters, what is shadow work, right? These are things that we have suppressed, things that are not healed, and that just stand in the way later in life. It's actually a defense mechanism because all of these things that you're not dealing with, you're choosing not to deal with right now, they are still gonna come up later in life. And this is actually how life works too. There are cycles to it. So anything that you're not dealing with right now, it's gonna come up again and again and again until you finally deal with it properly, heal your wounds, and do the things that you need to do. Today, I'm speaking to you from a place of vulnerability, to be honest, because I took a break from uploading things because I needed to check up with my integrity. I cannot say that I'm a healer and that I'm channeling messages from the spirits or from anyone else's guides if I'm not willing to do the work myself. So this is actually something very powerful, and I didn't understand where this block was coming from actually until yesterday. I just felt a block that I had a ton of new ideas. I know some spells that I want to do. I know the full moon in Pisces is coming, but there are things that I just couldn't do, and it all came from this place of there was something that I repressed a long time ago and that wasn't willing to come up. So today what we're gonna do is I'm gonna be sharing with you part of my story so you can understand how I am managing these triggers, how they coming up for myself, how to deal with them actually, because this is a very important part. To have the emotional responsibility to not pin the things that you're going through into someone else. You actually have to do the work, you actually have to deal with it yourself. And then we're gonna do a meditation, a healing meditation, so we all can heal these wounds, we all can heal these triggers. So whatever questions that you have, please go ahead, the live chat is on. My intention is really to build a community where people feel safe and validated, and this is why the message on the thumbnail is you're not alone, because you are never alone. This was a huge part for me. When I was starting to go into my spiritual practices, I felt somewhat alone, like I couldn't share these kind of things with anyone because I would be judged, because people wouldn't understand. But this is exactly why I need to speak up right now. That was the blockage, that I wasn't doing the work because I was feeling isolated, because I wasn't feeling like someone was listening to me, like I was valid to be just on point with that. So I've started to notice, and we are having a transit of Mars in Gemini. So a lot of these things are going to come up as a mirror. If you are having conflicts with people right now, and you realize that, well, you need to realize that first, nothing is personal. The other person is probably going through the same thing as you, but it's up to you to actually handle these things. You are the only one that can control your emotions and your actions. You cannot control the world that it's outside of you. So you have to start doing this work yourself. Otherwise, triggers are gonna be everywhere, especially if you don't work with this, because the universe has this job to keep feeding you these things until you are forced to just shake your head into the right direction, start doing the healing, start doing the work. In order to stop this cycle and just be freed of this karma. And that's the ultimate goal, to just deal with the things that you plan for yourself in this life and then move on to something else. You are right now here and dealing with these emotions, with this anxiety, with this fear, with this despair, with anxiety, because you have something to learn, because you have something to do right now. So for me, the story is coming from an argument actually that I had very recently. As I told you at first, I was having a hard time just finding creative ways to express myself. I wasn't able to sing, I wasn't able to upload videos, I wasn't able to even post on Instagram. Like, that's the most stupid thing. And when I realized, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I was seeing that everyone was feeling so happy. So it actually felt like out of place that I wasn't feeling happy, that I was in such a vulnerable place, that I was in such a anxious place, feeling despair, feeling alone, and like nobody else would understand any of these things. But then I started realizing and reflecting on it, like, people is only going to upload the good things. And this is something that you have to realize for yourself too. This is part of the toxic positivity. People is always just uploading the parts, the bits of their lives that they like, because no one wants to actively deal with the shadow work, with your shadow self. And the shadow is not something bad. Again, it's just a defense mechanism. You just have to understand where it's coming from in order to actually be able to heal. And for me, the trigger was when it was something so small. I was just in my own things, trying to deal with this in a private way, because I'm a very private person. So I was trying to deal with it by myself, which wasn't actually working at the time. So something that I did triggered the other person, and this person just starts yelling at me, and of course I feel attacked. And I couldn't even understand what I was feeling. I was in such a place of just shock, literally shock. Like, should I be angry? Should I be scared? Should I be crying? I really didn't even know like what to feel. And that's what started setting up the red flags. This is not okay. And then I ended up actually controlling myself and not biting and not answering back for the most part. But at the end, he was like, I'm going to meditate. And I was like, just please. A part of me was like, yeah, you need it, because I feel attacked. I feel like you really need to calm down in order to have a conversation. Of course, this wasn't the thing that I was aiming for. It is not myself. So that was another red flag, that something was not okay. And it actually didn't have anything to do with that particular conversation. It's something that was there from before. I just didn't handle it properly, so now it came as a trigger, and it reported itself as a quirk remark, like a smart ass move, like an asshole move, to be honest. And then I started realizing, like, if I am not like this, where is this coming from? What is it that I need to heal in order to stop this from happening? This is not something that I want for myself. This is not how I want to handle things, not at all. So there are two sides to the story, of course, and this is my side. The other person has his side, and it's valid. And I mean, he felt what he felt, and that's great for him too. So I was mirroring on him, he was mirroring on myself. And I cannot do anything for him, but I can do a lot for myself. So I'm starting to realize, okay, where are my limits? Where are my boundaries? What are the things that were triggered by this? And I took a therapy session, and I called a friend, and what I got from both interactions was that the only time in life where I used to answer like that was with an ex-boyfriend. It was an ex-boyfriend that cheated on me. So in what ways am I feeling like I'm being cheated in this moment? And again, this doesn't have to do anything with the relationship with the person with whom I had this argument. It had to do with in my life in general. Where do I feel that I've been cheated on? Where do I feel attacked? What is my inner kid telling me? And then I went back up furthermore, and I realized that it was from the divorce. That's how I dealt with it, or how I choose not to deal with this. I see your thumbs up. Thank you very much for sharing this with me. I just really want to tell everybody that you're not alone. We all have our mental garbage, and anyone that tries to tell you differently, that they have a perfect life, I'm sorry, but they're lying to you. This doesn't happen. It doesn't matter where you are in the spiritual world, where you are in psychological world, anywhere in life, everyone has things to deal with. And the perfect life does not exist. That's not why we're here. We're here to deal with this kind of stuff. We're here to do our shadow work. We're here to do our healing. So thank you very much. And I shall go on with this. So as I was telling you, I came back a little bit further, and I realized that it was my inner kid way to not dealing with the divorce, with the yelling, with the parents, with the discussions, with the arguments. It was a quick remarks, because that way I shielded myself. I just deflected the conversation into another place, and I wasn't feeling what I needed to feel. So I did feel attacked when I was little, and all those things were happening. Like, I was like 10 years old when all the divorce started. I was so little for dealing with such big stuff. I was pinned with a lot of responsibility that I shouldn't have. And I'm sure that all divorced kids right here will tell me the same. I am the older sibling, so I naturally was like a little bit of the head of the family for a while. I was my mom's support when she didn't have a partner anymore, and I was my sister's support too, whether I liked it or not at the moment. So I was carrying this since I was 10 years old. That's why the trigger was so hard to pin into something at the moment. But this is why it is so important. I am healing my inner child right now, because it's screaming at me like, Aileen, you really need to start doing this work. You really need to heal yourself. You really need to be in a healthy place for yourself. So I started doing the work. I started to understand where this is coming from. And this is something that we're going to do in the shadow work meditation afterwards. We are going to go back to where it all began for you. And now, for setting boundaries and to understand how to deal with other people while you're dealing with this, is to, first of all, understand that they are not going to change their behavior, even if you ask them to. Because, yeah, you can ask for it, but it is up to them to change it or not. And it is something that you cannot control. So it's something that it's even stupid to get fixated on. You only can control yourself, your emotions, and how you're dealing with it. You cannot go with a post-it in your head that says, please don't scream at me, or please don't say anything about divorce, or please don't say whatever is triggering for you. Because people are going to say it, even without the intention of hurting you. And that's why it's so important to heal within yourself first. Because I do realize that, yeah, I can come back and speak to that person and say, hey, please don't yell at me because I feel attacked, because it reminds me of the divorce. It reminds me of when my parents were arguing and I was little and I felt defenseless. So it's up to him to do it or not. I can't control it. So I have to deal with this inner child wound for myself. So it isn't that triggering, because understand that the most intense and special work that you can do right now is for yourself. This is the only thing that you can actually work, that you can actually heal. But other than that, what are the concrete actions that led me to be triggered? And they have to be concrete actions. It has to be something that the other person does or the other person says, because otherwise it's just feelings and they cannot change. The other person cannot change your own personal feelings, and vice versa. Like, if you're dealing on the other way, if you're making another person feel triggered, you ask, hey, what is the action? What is the tangible thing that I said or that I did? Because that's the only thing that you can change, right? If the other person is like, no, I felt a vibe in the air, it's like, well, I cannot change the vibe in the air. For as much as I would like to, as much as I'm doing the work, as much as I would like for things to be okay, I cannot change this person's perspective. I cannot change this person's intuition. I cannot change this person's feelings, nor should I have to, right? And it's the same way the other way around. What are the concrete actions or things that the other person said that made you feel triggered? And that's how you come to the other person and you tell them, okay, I didn't like being yelled at. I didn't like that you made a face at me. I didn't like that I was talking to you and you were all over the place, not being present, not paying attention to me. And again, this is something that you have to ask for in a very mature and calm way, because it is okay to ask for stuff. The other person cannot read your mind. It is up to you to actually speak out about these things. So these are the things that you have to say in order to establish how are you feeling, what is your position. And especially if you're in a vulnerable place, like, hey, right now I need my space. It's as simple as that. But everything that you ask has to be calm. And again, you're asking for it, but the other person has no obligation. It's not forced at all to do it. And it's up to yourself to actually own up to these wounds and heal them. So I think that this is it, unless someone has anything to share. If it's not in the live chat, if you came up at a different time and you're seeing this already recorded, you can leave it in the comments. If you don't want to other people see those things, you can always email me. It's on my description box, iris.connection@gmail.com. You can always email me, because I do know that part of my journey right now is to make people not feel alone, to make them know that they will be found, they are found, they are always in company of their guides, and if they want something tangible, you can have myself. So we're starting right now with the meditation. We're going to be healing some of these wounds. We're going to be finding out where these triggers come from, and just holding yourself. Remember to always talk to you as you talk to a friend, because I have picked up myself doing this. I am always so kind with my friends, and I'm like, why are you telling yourself these things? Why are you letting others like vanquish you from your power? Why are you letting others making you less when you are a lot? You're valuable. And that's exactly how you need to talk to yourself, how you would talk to your best friend if you're seeing that they are having the same situation, or a similar situation for the matter. So with this, I stop right now and we'll dive into the meditation. Find a comfortable place to sit where you can actually listen to your thoughts, to your feelings, to your heart. Close your eyes and start noticing your breath. Do not change it. Just notice your breaths. The air coming in and out. How your stomach expands every time a breath comes in, and how it deflates every time you exhale. You are in a safe space. You are in a safe place. Right now, I ask for your angels, for your guides, for your superior being to be with you. Right now, visualize a white aura surrounding yourself, making sure that you are protected, making sure that only beings of light can enter this space. Visualize too a purple light, a transmutation light that is going to turn all of your feelings, all of the negative ones, into light and into love. Visualize yourself in a room. It can be a place that you know of, or another place, somewhere where you feel okay, where you feel calm, where you feel safe. Breathe deeply and calmly, and feel how in every breath you gather energy. And with each exhalation, you release whatever tension is in your body. You release whatever tension is in your mind, and you release whatever tension is in your soul. Find somewhere to sit in this room. And hear how there's a knock in the door. This is the trigger that we're going to be healing today. So ask them to come in. And sit with you. What is this trigger? Give it a shape, give it a tangible form. It could be represented by a person that you had an argument with. It could be represented by a book, by a stone. It's all valid. And understand, what is it? Is it anxiety? Is it fear? Is it despair? Rage? Whatever it is, welcome it. And be ready to have a conversation with it. Ask, why are you here? What are you protecting me from? And just listen. It can answer by saying something, by making you feel something. Just open your heart, open your mind. And now we're going to ask it to show us, what is the event that detonated this trigger? And you're going to see yourself when this happened. This could have happened a week ago, yesterday, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. It doesn't matter. Watch yourself. Watch that version of yourself. Watch the whole event. This may cause pain, But be safe, be sure that this is part of the healing, this is part of the process. Once that you finish seeing this event, go to that version of yourself and give her or him a hug. Give her or him the support that they need, the advice, the tenderness, the nourishment that they need. Let yourself feel whatever emotion comes up. If you want to cry, cry. If you want to scream, scream. It's all valid and it's all part of the process. You are not alone. 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 You will be found. You will be found. Seal this energy with a rose light. Hug yourself, hug that version of yourself with love, and feel this pink aura coming from both of your hearts, healing all the emotions, healing all those events. Healing your heart, healing your spirits, healing your minds. See how this memory slowly fades away and it turns into light. You're back in the first room. And see how it also feels with a bright light, a bright white light. Breathe deeply and exhale. In each exhale, you will release. Breathe deeply and exhale. Feel this healing process through all of your body. Visualize this old version of yourself that you just healed. And tell her or him, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And slowly come back to the present. Listen to your surroundings, the wind, the birds, people. Start wiggling your toes, your fingers. Move your neck. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So, in this shadow work meditation, we just integrated our shadow selves. We just healed the old wounds. It can take a little time to process. These healing protocols are going to be active for the next 24 hours. So be sure that you're hydrated. You might be a little bit sensitive and vigilant of all of these triggers as they still come up. But now you have a better understanding of how to deal with them and how to actually give yourself the support that you need. Again, this is a season where a lot of these triggers are going to be coming up, and you're going to be feeling this need to fight, to say something, to argue. But I would recommend for you to just step back first, take a look at yourself, understand where are these feelings or emotions coming from. Just breathe. If you need to, you can repeat this meditation as many times as you want. I do feel that you should wait at least 3 days in between the healings, because this is shadow work. It takes a long time sometimes to set in. Well, a long time, like those 2-3 days. You're still gonna be having insights. This can come up in your dreams. They can come up in just from words that people are saying, or synchronicities. You might notice angel numbers in the streets, or just words written on the wall, reminders on your phone, posts on Instagram. Just be attentive of everything. Animals often have messages for us, so be wary about it too. I really thank you for doing this today. It's a very difficult step to do, and reward yourself. Recognize that these things that you're doing are for your personal growth, and just thank you. And remember, once again, you are not alone.